On today's First Time Buyer channel, we're going to talk about FHA financing. What is FHA financing, and is that a good loan for me? Welcome back. Enrique here with First West Financial for our First Time Buyer channel. This is a channel that is dedicated to teach and help and encourage first-time buyers or people who are looking at purchasing a home in the near future. We know that first-time buyers have a lot of questions. They have a lot of anxiety or concerns. They don't want to make a mistake. They want to do the right thing when they purchase their first home. After all, it's the largest investment. So in this channel, we're going to answer tons of questions. Make sure you subscribe, hit the subscribe button, or share with people that you think may be interested in purchasing a home or are thinking about it, whether it's now or 6 months from now. Now, one of the most common programs out there for first-time buyers is the FHA program. What is FHA? Well, how does it work? Is this a good program for me? Do I qualify? So we're going to answer a ton of information about the FHA program. The FHA program is coming from the acronym Federal Housing Administration, which is part of HUD. HUD is Housing and Urban Development. It's an arm of the government. It's a government agency. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you is that even though FHA is called a government loan, it's really not a loan that the government is giving you. The money doesn't come from the government. Of course, it comes from a bank. So what the government is and what the government does is the government insures the loan. Now, how does that work? Well, imagine that you have a vehicle and you buy insurance from the car. If something happens to that vehicle, it's insured. Someone steals it or it burns or something like that happens, you get into an accident, the insurance company is going to pay you the claim if something happens to it. FHA is very similar. Because you are going to purchase a home with a small down payment, I'm going to tell you more about it, the government says, look, I am going to insure it. Something happens to that loan. Let's say the borrower decides not to make payments. Don't worry about it. The FHA insurance will protect the lender against losses. That's the basics of it. So it really is not a government loan. It's a government insured loan through HUD, through the FHA program. This is a program that has been going on for years. Millions of people have purchased their first home or subsequent homes using the FHA program, including myself. And it is probably one of the most popular ways of buying a home when you don't have a lot of down payment. So let's start with that. First thing you need to know is that you can actually purchase a home with as little as 3.5% down from the purchase price. So if you were buying a $100,000 home, it would be $3,500 down, and so on. Now, there are some limits. Every county is different. But in most cases, you're going to be able to buy an affordable home using this program. Now, there are certain requirements. The first requirement is that you do not have to be a first-time buyer. A lot of people think that FHA is only for first-time buyers. That is not the case. It also, a lot of people think, well, what if I already have another house? Can I still buy one with FHA? In many cases, you can. A lot of people think, well, I already got one loan many years ago with FHA. Can I get another one? Yes, if you paid off that loan properly, in other words, if it didn't go into foreclosure or short sale, chances are you'll qualify for another FHA. I have helped people that have bought 2 or 3 different houses over time with FHA. Now, there are certain restrictions. In most cases, not always, but in most cases, you cannot have 2 FHA loans at the same time. And again, if you defaulted on an FHA, sometimes there's going to be some restrictions about whether you can get another one or not. But overall, most people are eligible to purchase a home with FHA. Now, again, you don't have to be a first-time buyer. There are some limits in terms of how much of a house you can afford. If you want to buy $1 million home, well, you may not be able to do that with an FHA financing in most counties, but your independent mortgage broker is going to tell you whether a particular home qualifies for that. So now let's talk about what are some of the benefits of FHA. Well, first of all, you are going to be able to purchase a home even if you don't have perfect credit. Right now, it's very common to finance a home with a 640 FICO score and still get a very, very low rate. You can get a home even if you're only a couple of years out of bankruptcy. Maybe you're only a few years out of foreclosure. FHA will allow you to purchase a home if you meet the requirements. Again, You don't have to have perfect credit. Also, it allows you to purchase an affordable home, and it allows you to extend yourself a little bit if you don't have a lot of money to qualify. Say you have, a job and you have a little bit of debt, and if conventional financing is not qualifying you for a lot, sometimes FHA lets you buy a little bit more of a house. The other advantage is 3.5%. It's a very low down payment. Here's the advantage. FHA allows you to have that money coming from your own funds. Let's say you have it in a retirement plan or savings, but it also allows you a gift of a person that is allowed to give you a gift, like a relative, or maybe your fiance, your parents. Even your employer is allowed to give you a gift under FHA. There are certain rules that you have to follow, but that's the overall idea of it. So far, FHA is like a really good idea, right? Sounds great. What are some of the things that you have to watch for? Well, with any loan where you don't put a full 20% down, there's going to be something called mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance is part of FHA. So a lot of people say, oh, wow, if I'm putting only 3.5% down, what is the downside of it? Well, you have to pay mortgage insurance. And FHA has a mortgage insurance that has to be paid. And a lot of people say, well, can I get rid of that after a few years? No, you cannot get rid of it. You have to refinance the home out of FHA in order to get rid of the mortgage insurance. But since you're not putting a full 20% down, that's a requirement. If you have the money to put down and you want to avoid mortgage insurance, we always recommend that. But for first-time buyers that don't have a lot of money down, that's the perfect program. So that's another one of the advantages. Now, what other requirements are there? Well, in some cases, some houses are not going to qualify for FHA. Why? Well, if the home is in disrepair or maybe needs a lot, doesn't meet the minimum requirements. For example, maybe it's full of termites, maybe there's a hole in the roof, or maybe it's missing cabinets. It's not going to qualify for a regular FHA loan. So your agent and your mortgage broker are going to determine whether this home qualifies or not. There are some programs that HUD offers where you can actually finance some of the repairs. We're not going to talk about those right now, but overall, what you're looking for is you're looking for a home that is habitable, that is, whole, that you can actually live in the home, even if it needs minor repairs. Again, your agent and your mortgage broker as a team are going to let you know whether this home qualifies for FHA or not. Overall, as you can see, FHA is a great program. Now, do you have to go to a specific lender to go get an FHA loan? Yes, the answer is you do have to go to a specific lender. You have to go to a lender that offers this type of program. You'd be surprised. Some of the big banks don't offer FHA. Don't ask me why, but they don't. I can tell you that if you go visit an independent mortgage broker like me, like First West Financial, we are always going to offer FHA as one of the alternatives. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the best alternative, but it's an alternative to the different types of loans that we offer. That's why speaking to a mortgage broker is so important, because you go in, you provide your information, and then we're going to look at it and say, hey, you know what? You would be a great candidate for FHA. I spoke to a gentleman today who has a 660 FICO score, only $10,000 or $12,000 in savings, has never bought a home before, doesn't have a lot of funds available, but has some, and is looking to buy a $300,000 home. Perfect candidate for FHA. Not perfect credit, a little bit of down payment, and a huge desire to own a home and a really good job. So it fits the guidelines. To find out if you are a good candidate for FHA, you can always give us a call. Even if you are out of state, call us at 760-488-6482. Even if you're in a different location, we will connect you with an independent mortgage broker that is going to do a great job helping you, walking you through the process. It can be complicated. It can be scary. It can be frustrating. But if you are connected to the right person, we're going to walk you through it, and we're going to keep it simple. We're going to make it easy, and we're going to make it fun for you to own your first home. This is the First Time Buyer channel. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button and come back and see us. Again, Enrique with First West Financial, 760-488-6482. We're here to answer your questions. Have a great day.